time, so it's a crumpet today with a bit of peanut butter, coffee. It is 8:34. I have been down here since 6:50. Got my vlog edited and up, so I'm just gonna eat this and watch watch Hollyoaks. Happy Sunday! It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Yep, it's nice out. Just went out on the back deck to put the garbage out, and it's a beautiful day. And how it's falling apart, coming apart. I won't even walk over into that corner to pick that step up because I'm afraid it's going to go. Look, the right mess. But anyway, I've been on at Pete's case for about a year now, saying I'm really scared about this deck's going to just collapse. Like we used to be able to sit out there and eat our dinner and enjoy it, and we haven't been able to do that in actually over a year. A couple of years we haven't sat out there. He finally broke down today, and he's been out there measuring and doing stuff, and his brother's on his way over. They're gonna at least get it stable for now, replace some of the beams and stuff until it can be ripped down and done properly. But you just, every time I was outside with the dogs, I'm looking at it going, it's gonna go. And then if we get a lot of snow this Christmas, this year, this winter, I'm just afraid it's gonna go. And I keep saying to Pete, I'm gonna be the one standing on it when it goes. With my back issues, it's not gonna work. Pete's got back issues too, but my surgery was an absolute failure, so I just don't need any additional things. I mean, the reason I say me is because I'm in and out all day long taking the dogs out, taking Roxy out now, and I always go out that way. The squirrels have been enjoying eating the wood. It's just a nightmare. But anyway, at least if I know there's some new beams in it holding it up and stuff, I'll feel a lot better. So anyway, I'll show you the progress during the day. But I was just about to go up and take a shower, but Pete's jumped in quick because he and his brother are going to run over to Home Depot. So once they've done that, I will jump in the shower. So I'm going to go grab my laundry, fold a load, and then go upstairs, shower, and get myself sorted out. What time is it? It is 10:20.
I've had this since I did the house. I have two of them.
This is where we're staying today.
I have one on wheels. That's the same thing. I was trying to hook two of them together because I thought it would blow out the sprinkler lines quicker, but it doesn't.
More pressure.
Yeah. So I was trying to do more than one zone at a time.
Okay, so the guys can't do anything else on it today. What I understand from all the chit chat is there is so much dry rot in the roof that they can't fix it fully, but they've made it sturdy. Even though it's still on an angle, they've made it sturdy so it's not going to collapse, which is what I was worried about. So they were talking about fixing the roof, and I'm like, I don't care if the roof comes off of the porch, because if we get it nice and stable and straight, take the roof off, we can always get a table with an umbrella so we can eat outside again, and then we can bring the barbecue actually up here onto the deck rather than going up and down the stairs, up and down the stairs. It's like an electroset. I don't know if you have electrosets here in America, but it's like something you piece together, and that's exactly what it looks like. It is a mess, but I know now Pete will be working on it whenever he can to get it sorted. Pat's leaving for Maine on Wednesday, but yeah. Is that you, Ash?
Hey.
Oh, it's you. I don't know where this came from. There was no rain in the forecast today. Oh, we sort of clear out all the stuff all the sawdust and stuff. Oh my gosh. Nice and cold out. Just enough to water everything. Thank you, Rain. Ooh, the breeze. Feels so good. Know what that app is that you color on your iPad?
Sketchbook.
Sketchbook.
Yes.
Yes, to a homemade burger on the grill. We haven't had burgers in a while, have we? Yeah, don't fancy the mango. You could always put it in a dessert of some kind. We're trying these pops from that we got the other day. This is the ice bloom. It's definitely vodka. You can taste it in that one. But do you want the rest of this one, Ash? Okay, for some reason my phone is turning off the video. Let's see if it goes this time. 3, 2, 1. Just watching the timer thingy. That was weird. Anyway, burgers were delicious. They were a bit bigger than normal. Thought it went up again. A bit bigger than normal. Obviously couldn't finish it. They don't look that big until you start eating it, and then you realize, blimey, I'm not even halfway through it yet. But they were delicious. And then Ash and I had one of those pops after, and I had a few things like bites of it. I'm like, yeah, it's all right, but I don't think it's really my cup of tea. It's not really like something I'm like, oh. So Pete finished Ashley's, and then I go, do you want mine? He goes, yeah. He goes, these are good. So Pete likes them, so that's good. Ashley likes them. I just think she didn't want to finish it. And then so I had one of those little meringue nests, and Pete had picked up some squirty cream from the store, and I just had one of those. And yes, Jan, there is a difference between the meringue over here and the meringue over at home. Over at home, it seems to melt in your mouth more. Over here, I don't know if it's, I always just get the same batch or what it is, but it always seems to be a bit chewy in the middle. And I don't like my meringues like that. When I was a kid, I don't know, 10, 12, I've loved meringues always. And if they would be making them at Dad's work for some reason, for some dinner or event that was coming up, if the meringues weren't 100%, they used to get rid. So I used to always get a package from the person in the kitchen. Dad was quite high ranking at that place. I can't remember where it was, but I just remember Dad used to come home with meringues, and they were like the cast-offs that weren't good enough to serve the dinner guests. So yeah, I've always loved meringues. So good. My other downfall, as you all know, is ketchup. Sometimes I would choose a meal if I could have ketchup with it. I'm in the mood for ketchup. Like, what could I have with it? True story. When my dad used to go on exercise, he was always gone pretty much for my birthday. My poor mother growing up always had to do, because my birthday's in the summer, always had to do my birthday on her own. And actually I say in the summer, but we were still in school when it was my birthday, even though it was like July. And Dad used to bring me a gallon jug of ketchup back every time. And then, remember the compo tins, the compost rations that they used to get for exercise? He used to always bring me the one that said boiled sweets. And I remember they were like this round in like a wax paper, and they were really thick fruit flavors. And then the one with the chocolate in. And everything was in these tins, and you never knew what chocolate bar you were getting, whether it was going to be like fruit and nut, which I hate because I can't stand raisins, or whether it was just plain dairy Cadbury's. So it was always like, ooh. Dad used to always bring those home for me. It was so much fun. And it's funny because I was thinking back, and I think my mother brought it over for me. I need to find it. I think it might be in that drawer. Mum bought me a bunch of stuff over the last time she came. Some of my report cards, which I won't be showing anyone, and we used to do our shopping at the NAFI, which was a supermarket on base. For the Americans, it's what you guys call a PX. Oh, that's what they called it in England anyway. And they did let the Brits go to the American PX. But ours was called a NAFI, N-A-A-F-I. And I forget what it is. Forces, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, and we had ration books. No, I wasn't born in the 50s, but we had ration books. I remember it was a little green book. And obviously mine wasn't for cigarettes and stuff, but there was rations for certain things. And I remember, you know, we all had one. Mum had one, Dad had one, I had one. Steve kind of left home when I was 7, and he went to boarding school in England. So I don't remember if Steve had one or not. I didn't really live a lot with my brother growing up because, like I said, I think I was 7 or 8 when he went over to boarding school. Was I What was I? Mum, you tell me. Tell me, Mum. I can't remember. I just remember when we used to go pick him up. 'Cause we used to go to the Royal Wolverhampton. And I remember when we used to go pick him up, I used to be crying. Every time we dropped him off, I'd be crying. Oh. And within 10 minutes of picking him up, we were already fighting in the car. Mum used to say, I can't believe you've been fighting all the way over here to go pick him up, because we lived in Germany. There's a lot of new people, that's why I'm kind of going over old stuff. But we used to drive back to England, take the ferry over, and then drive, you know, so we had our own car. And by the time we would get out of Wolverhampton, my brother and I would be at it. Don't touch me, sit too close. Mommy's touching me. Oh dear. Anyway, guys, I don't know where all that came from. Actually, that all came from the meringue. So I had a meringue with some squirty cream, and it was absolutely delicious. So that was my dessert. I only had one, and Ash had one. On that note, guys, I hope everyone's had a brilliant, brilliant weekend. Whatever it is you did this weekend or today. Messed that up, didn't I? Hope everyone had a brilliant, brilliant Sunday. Whatever you guys did today, I hope it was a good one. And we will definitely see you tomorrow. Good night.